Back at Echo Stage for another concert, right? Out with a couple of my buddies. And like we do, we're kind of in the venue, just having a good time and bringing that energy to the people around us, right? So we'll go to a place, start interacting with the people around us. If we feel like maybe they aren't as receptive or things get a little stale, then we kind of move, change areas, and all the while getting a little bit closer to the stage, right? As we do this, we move from one area to another, right? Start interacting with the people around us in this new spot. It's very crowded that night. So I'm dancing, moving, and all, doing my little side to side shimmy and all. Then I start to feel like a little kind of push in my lower back, right? At first, I make nothing of it because, like I said, it's a very crowded place, a lot of people out. And so I just assumed that because of the crowd, people moving here and there, it's a slight little bump, no big deal. Then I continue to feel it though. So I kind of look over my shoulder, check out what's going on and see a guy, looks like an older guy, there kind of dancing and a woman in front of him, right? A younger woman. Again, look, kind of check it out. Okay, that's who it is, no big deal. Get back to doing my thing. But then I feel the lower, it's literally his forearm in my lower back again, right? So this happens a little bit more and I get quite annoyed. So I turn around, square up to him, and my demeanor is like, we're going to have a conversation to make sure that this stops, right? It's not okay for you to keep putting your forearm in my back, right? He looks over at me, forearm still there, and so now it's very clear that he is holding his forearm out as I'm turned around facing him, right? And so in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is going to go down. We're going to get to a resolution one way or the other. Now, when this happens, I don't know if the people around could feel the energy, feel the change, or if, maybe they even saw me kind of, shift and turn towards him. But the woman or girl in front of him turns around, pulls back his forearm, and says, "That's my dad." I look at him and I see him looking at her, and I see like the look of recognition from both of them, right? And I get the sense that, okay, she's telling the truth. This is her dad, right? But even though she pulls his forearm back, he pulls away from her to keep the forearm there. Noticing and kind of reading the situation, I have like a quick but sudden shift, right? Instead of me looking at this as a confrontation that I need to resolve, right? I need to set him straight. I have a bit of empathy for him, right? I recognize the situation that you're a father out with his 20 something year old daughter at a very crowded venue where there's a lot of people around, a lot of noise, bumping and jostling. And seemingly, the way he's kind of has his arms around his daughter, he doesn't want anyone getting close to her at all, right? And so it's empathy, but I also feel a little bit of pity for him. Like, man, you aren't able to really enjoy yourself because you're so worried about shielding or protecting or getting in the way of anyone getting around your daughter. So my mood and approach changes, right? What I do is I touch both of them on the shoulder lightly, like that, and say, no big deal. Immediately, he drops his forearm, right? I could tell he was on edge, right? That this environment, everything going on around was making him uncomfortable. And so when I chose to empathize and to say, hey, I understand, it gave him a chance to kind of rethink the way he was showing up himself, right? It showed him that, hey, this environment that seems so scary is not as scary, right? This big guy standing next to you is not a threat. And in fact, he's quite nice, right? Later on, as time went on, he and I ended up even talking a little bit and kind of connecting a little bit, the two of us. So, what that taught me is that although you can become kind of frazzled or move in a certain direction or one way or the other, that when you are able to empathize and connect with others, you can really change their mood as well, right? It showed me the power of a moment of empathy, right? Of being able to calm someone down when they're feeling very stressed, very on edge. And I know he ended up having a better time for the rest of the night because he didn't feel as threatened anymore. That is the big lesson here, that being able to connect with others can really change from a situation that becomes explosive to a situation that becomes friendly and caring and kind. So be aware that this may not happen every time you try and defuse a situation, but that the more you're going out and practicing your social skills, the more you will be able to defuse situations, right? The more you will be able to exude a sense of calm and impart that calm onto others when the situation calls for it. So keep getting out there in the field, keep working on it, and I know you'll be successful. Take care.